What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode in the FIFA 17 career mode. This is episode number 14, and I'm starting today's episode off by showing you a comment I got in my last episode from Samuel Larson, who said, Downing 2.0, Charlie Austin. I think he will only move to a club in England. That's because in the last episode, of course, Stuart Downing had the chance to join Red Bull Leipzig or Toulouse, but turned them both down because he didn't want to relocate. And as you can see, Samuel is 100% correct, because he may not want to go to Germany, he may not want to go to France, but he does want to go to Sheffield to stay in England as he joins Sheffield Wednesday for £5 million. So Downing is going to go to Hillsborough and does end up leaving the club at the third time of asking. So Samuel 100% correct. One of my subscribers there letting me know he'll probably be like Charlie Austin in my Watford save last year and only move to a club in the same country as he's in right now. And of course, Samuel wasn't the only person who said that in the last episode as well, but I thought I'd include that comment right there because he was indeed right. And also to the rest of you guys that did say he'll probably only go to another English club, you are indeed right. That is where Downing has gone. So Downing's gone to Sheffield Wednesday as DeShilio declined his contract there, and he's gone. You know, Stuart Downing's gone. Of course, I was thinking after the episode 2 episodes ago that Downing would obviously be leaving straight away. That didn't happen. And then, of course, in the last episode, I was thinking we'll now be staying and playing down his contract. That's not going to happen either. Now we've got closure on the Stuart Downing saga. He's gone to Sheffield and he's out of the club for £5 million. Still following that, as you could see, we put in a bit for Josh Onoma here. We're going to try and replace Downing with Onoma. He was my number one target as a replacement. Put in a bit of £4 million, and Pochettino said that was totally fine. So we'll go ahead and offer the youngster a contract, 19 years old, 72 overall, and I think the perfect like-for-like replacement with Downing because he can play through the middle and also out wide as well. So wait and see what he says as DeShilio once again declines a contract here. The third time we offered him a contract. Again, he says no, doesn't want to relocate, so maybe he's going to go to another club in Italy. We give him a new contract though. We should wait and see what he says. We got to 45 grand a week, 10% clean sheet bonus, 5-year deal on important first team status, and we shall wait and see what he says. But Onoma did accept his contract at the first time of asking us. Once again, DeShilio says no to life at the Riverside Stadium. Onoma though doesn't have that kind of problem whatsoever. He's totally fine coming to the Riverside, and I think that's a pretty smart sign in there. For £4 million, it's £1 million less than Stuart Downing, as Cartabia's still waiting to come in. He's got his bags packed. He's been staying at the airport for the past few days, but we're still not sure about it. Onoma for £4 million is a pretty good deal. It's £1 million less than what we sold Downing for. He's on a little bit less of a salary than Downing as well, which is good, because that helps us with our financial objective of reducing the salary growth. And of course, he's only 2 ratings lower, and at 19 years old, 13 years younger, he's obviously going to have more potential. So pretty pleased with that signing right there. He probably won't get too many minutes in the first season. Gaston Ramirez will stray. Gaston Ramirez will stay as our main playmaker, but coming off the bench, playing in cup games, I'm excited for his future, and we'll have to wait and see how good he turns out to be. But anyway, we gave a new contract to DeShilio once again, 50 grand a week now on a 5-year deal, and we shall wait and see what he says. That means if he accepts that and comes in next season, he'll be our biggest earner at the club so far in the series. So is the fullback worth that? As you take a look at Onoma's stats, well, to be honest, he can play left back and can play right back like Fabio. I love a fullback that can play on both sides of the pitch, and with a good weak foot rating, he'll be totally capable of playing left back or right back week in and week out. I've had him twice before when managing Milan, and also I think I might have had him at Napoli as well back in FIFA 14, not entirely sure, but I've had him a couple of times before at least. He's been a very safe fullback for me, very reliable indeed, and that's why I thought for 50 grand a week, it's a lot of money, but on a free transfer, it's no money whatsoever in terms of a transfer fee, so I'm totally fine bringing him in, and if we don't like him, we can sell him in January or the season afterwards. It's a low risk deal, that one. So DeShilio comes in, and also James Husband leaves the club and goes to Ipswich for 625 grand. About time, I would say. He's been on the transfer list since day one. It was the first thing I did when I became manager of Middlesbrough, put him on the transfer list, and finally he's gone to Ipswich as we go into the first game of today's episode here against Aston Villa in the FA Cup.
Well, they can be really the heartbeat of the team, these central midfield players, and we've got a new one making his debut today. What do you make of it, Alan?
Well, I'm impressed by the signing. I think he'll give them a bit more composure in the middle of the park. He can get up and down, and he's a good pass for the ball.
And pre-game, Martin Tyler and Alan Smith would briefly discuss our new man, Josh Onoma, starting for the first time in a Middlesbrough shirt, making his debut on the right-hand side of midfield in this FA Cup round of 32 tie against Championship side Aston Villa. So looking forward to this game. Of course, as it was a cup game, I did decide to rest a large chunk of my players. There were a couple of first-team players out there, Espinoza at the back, Derone in the middle of the park, and Fisher as well, playing on the left side of midfield. But for the most part, a lot of changes because I still really wanted to win this game because getting through to the round round of 16 would mean we get to the round the board asked us to meet at the start of the season in our objectives. So there was still quite a bit riding on this game despite making a lot of changes, and the first couple of chances did fall to us as well. First, Berahino's shot was well saved with the goalkeeper, and then Rhodes' header went wide of the post, and then from a corner in the 34th minute, we crossed away into the centre and found Espinoza, but his header went sky high and in to the stand. So still Middlesbrough 0, Aston Villa 0. But it was a first half where I thought we played very well. We were on top for large sections of it, and just before the break, as Aston Villa gave the ball away from their own goal kick, we won the ball back. Fisher gave it to side of Berahino, who took it round a couple of players and finessed the ball into the back of the net. So he scored in the last round, he scores in this one as well, and we do make the breakthrough just before the break, and that was so needed as well because we've been on top in the first half, being this far superior side, had all the chances, Villa had none whatsoever. I just felt we needed one more chance to get that goal, and finally we got it in stoppage time in the first half. So 1-0 to Borough in the first half. You can see the stats at half time as well. We were in control despite Villa dominating in the possession stat, and 3 minutes after the restart here in the second half, I managed to get the play down the left hand side with George Friend playing the ball over the top towards Victor Fisher. Bakuna did well to catch up initially to our Danish winger, but once he took it round him again, he went for goal after the fake shot, and in goal, Mark Bunn, the former Norwich goalkeeper, had an absolute howler because he parried the shot straight to Jordan Rhodes, who would run to the cameraman to score his first goal in the FA Cup and double our lead. So Middlesbrough 2, Aston Villa 0, but for Mark Bunn's sake, I mean seriously, the shot did have some shot power from Fisher, don't get me wrong, but it was pretty much straight at him, and if he's going to parry the shot, he's got to do better than that. I was expecting him to get his body behind the ball, instead he patted it straight to Jordan Rhodes at the far post, case of butterfingers, and there is Rhodes with the simplest finish of his career, and I don't even think I pressed the circle button for that one. I think he might have walked it in, but anyway, it was 2-0 to Borough, and I felt as though the game might be done there. So I made my third and final substitution, took off Victor Fisher for Matt Targett, thought I'd bring the left back on, and how about this? Fisher comes off, and Matt Targett walks onto the pitch wearing his tracksuit. How about this for a funny glitch? As Fisher walks off the pitch, eventually, Targett waddles onto the pitch. It looks like he's floating there, and he's still wearing his tracksuit, and he's walking. I can't even describe the style of walk he's doing. It's like he's trying to hold in the chicken tikka masala he had for lunch. It was just crazy. Whilst he was still wearing his tracksuit, I was still on the sideline, not knowing what to make of it. Fisher's come off, Targett's come on, he's still wearing his tracksuit. We saw a couple of shots of the crowd, and then eventually got back to the main camera angle, and Targett is now walking off the pitch. Can you see him at the far towards the far end there? Now he's walking off the pitch, waddling. Had to speed this up so we could get off the pitch, and as you can see, he eventually turns around and then moonwalks onto the dugout. I mean, I literally had no idea what was going on there, but eventually the game stopped, and eventually we get back on with the game, and play could resume at 2-0 after that bizarre sequence. I had literally no idea what was going on there, but still, it was 2-0 to Middlesbrough, and with 20 minutes to go, it should have been 3-0 as well. Onomus cross found Berahino in the middle, but his volley hit the post and was eventually dealt with by Villa, so still 2-0, but Villa didn't really do too much in this game until the latter stages. They had a couple of chances from corners late on, and they eventually would find the back of the net as well through Alan Hutton coming off the bench, and the Scottish right back would make it Middlesbrough 2, Aston Villa 1. So Villa did get themselves back in the game late on, but of course I knew for sure it was going to be only a consolation goal. It was a case of a little too late for Aston Villa, I felt. Had they played like that and got attacks on goal throughout the entire game, they might have been fine. They might have found a second goal from somewhere, but really, they didn't step it up until the final 10-15 minutes, I feel, and that's why we held on for our 2-1 victory. And again, I think it was quite comfortable as well. Even though the stats may suggest otherwise, I didn't feel under too much pressure in that game, and I felt we were in control for the most part. So 2-1 was the final score. We are through to the next round of the FA Cup. Delighted with that, into the round of 16. And again, the cups, like I always say, the cups aren't as important to me as the league. That's always the case, and that will always be the case as well. But of course, to meet the objective the board set in the first season of reaching around the 16 stage, it does make me feel a little bit better now, knowing that for sure the board won't have any complaints, at least in that objective category, because they'll know we've met the domestic cup objective. Of course, we still have to do the league one, which is finishing mid-table, but we've got the cup one already sewn up. So whatever happens next, whoever we face next, if we go out and around the 16 stage, not going to be too fast. We've done our part, we got to the round of 16, and that is cool. But still, going to the second game of today's episode here, we will take on West Brom back in the Premier League here at the Riverside Stadium. We haven't won a Premier League game since the one against Burnley at Turf Moor on Boxing Day way back in December, and this is is our only chance to record a Premier League win in January as well, as straight after this game it will be deadline day, and then of course we will be entering February initially after that as well. So immediately after that as well. So coming to this game, we really needed to win. You know, we had to return to winning ways in the league, because it's all well and good getting the results in the cup, but we need Premier League wins if we're to stay where we are in the table right now and continue to compete for a European place come the end of the season. The first couple of chances fell to us. First, Adama making his first start since injury, going pretty close, but Foster made a great save. And then the 7th minute here, Menendez went on an absolutely sensational skill run, but the finish was poor as I blazed a shot way over the bar. And that has been a problem for me with Menendez, you guys have been seeing. I'm training his finishing for that reason alone, because I can do the skill moves but not the finish with him. But it was still 0-0. In the 90th minute, another good chance here. Negredo gets a shot on target, but once again Ben Foster makes another fine save, low down to his left hand side, and turns the ball behind for a corner. And from that corner, Menendez will take it as well, swings it into the centre, looks for Espinosa. This header goes onto the roof of the net and behind. So still 0-0 in this game. In the 23rd minute though, another corner as we piled the pressure on early. I gave it to Diego Menendez, floated it into the centre. Negredo went for it, he won the header and found the back of the net as well to end his goal drought, and make it Middlesbrough 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. So the deadlock broken 24 minutes in, and the goal was coming as well, like in the Villa game too. We were on top in the first half, playing very well, and I felt for sure it was only a matter of time before eventually we would break them down and score the first goal of the game. It comes through Negredo, his 6th of the season, and it's Borough 1, West Brom 0. And in the second half, West Brom, we hadn't done anything in the game, almost grabbed themselves a late equaliser here through Rondon as he fired this shot just off target. I would have been so frustrated had he scored that one, because they'd done nothing all game. Our defence was very solid, but he almost scored the goal to put West Brom back on level terms. But in the 90th minute, a good chance to secure the points here. Diego Menendez wins the ball back here and takes it around a couple of players with the skill moves. A great run by Diego Menendez. I thought for sure that was going to be the moment. Sadly not. Foster made the save, but coming in at the far post unmarked was Adam Forshaw, who came off the bench at half-time and made it 2-0 to Borough and wrapped the points up for us. So the second time in the game, Menendez goes on a skill run, but the finish doesn't find the back of the net. This time he got it on target. Foster made the save though to ruin the lovely skill goal, but he could only turn it up in the air, and Adam Forshaw scores his first goal of the season to make it 2-0. So final score, Middlesbrough 2, West Brom 0, and after that goal I was like, oh, for goodness sake, you know what I mean? Seriously, I've had so many runs this season with Diego already, but just can't find the back of the net with him after a skill run. But either way, we got the goal, that's the most important thing, even if it wasn't scored by Diego Menendez. But still, 2-0 was the final score. We get the job done. We finally notch up our first win of the new year. Really pleased with that. Our first win in January as well, obviously. I mean, you can't do one without the other. So, yeah, pleased with that. And, again, the final moment there, Forshaw heading in that Menendez shot. I was so frustrated. I thought for sure that was going to be a lovely skill goal. Obviously not. But the 3 points are the most important thing. That's great to see. And you'll see in just moments' time, it moves us up in the table as well to 5th place as we continue to charge for a European place come the end of the season. That will end today's episode in the FIFA 17 career mode, guys. So a big thank you for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode, then please leave a like. Likes, of course, much appreciated, and they really help the channel grow as well. Much love to you, and have a fantastic Sunday, and I'll see you for the next episode in the FIFA 17 career mode very soon.